If you guys just joined us, I appreciate you guys. If you guys can hit that subscribe button, follow button, say save and subscribe, and that way you won't miss any of the content. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys joining the channel, tuning in, and please make sure you like and subscribe. That'll be I will be so grateful for that, and I will make sure that I am going to continue to be the dad that I talk about here on this channel, but just continue to do my best. I have a vision to align myself with other dads, successful in their own right, and it's going to be fun. So again, subscribe, dad. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Today we're talking about discipline and how you discipline your child. I'll share a little bit of obviously my personal story. I like to put myself on blast. But how do you discipline your child? Right? There's a lot of different ways to do it. Right? Some people don't believe in discipline. Some people believe in paddles. Some people believe in spankings. Some people believe in just beating up their kids. I don't condone that for sure. Some people believe in the kids should discipline themselves. So how do you discipline your child? Good question. For me, I learned three things. I learned that, for one, nobody has this thing figured out. Be open to change, and not only in society, but you got to learn the rules of society. Things change. There was a lot of bad press on spankings and abusing your children in that way, or which would lead to some typical abuse. I remember growing up, and I remember that was the era of reaching for the phone and talking about, Dad, I'm gonna call somebody. My parents would be like, oh, you gonna call somebody, aren't you? Okay, well, if you can make it to the phone, right? And so anyway, but there's three things that I want you to know. Three things that I learned that I believe if you hone in on these three things, I believe, just like I always say, if you focus on the three things, I believe, I think you're gonna be set. At the end of the day, I think you're going to surprise yourself. I think the relationship that you have with your kids are going to grow. I think you'll be more respected within your home. I think you'll feel better about yourself. All right. Because, it hurts me more than it hurts you. Can all my parents relate? That's what we used to say to our kids before we give them a spanking. This hurts me. That's what my dad used to say. This hurts me. I'm like, how does it hurt you? I'm the one with the welts. Anyway. So number one, disciplining your children, learning and understanding that the act or the behavior is one thing. Correct that. Be mad at that, right? But don't be mad at your children. Don't correct your children. It's not a play on words. A lot of times we interject our emotion and our energy, and we spend so much time grilling our children then even the issue. We almost forget about what the heck the issue was. I don't think your children understand. They just know, they think they're bad. They think they're the one being punished, right? So I learned to focus on the issue. What was the issue? Was it acting up in school? Why did we do that? I learned how to talk through that. Was it getting a fight on the bus, or getting in talking back to mom, or talking back to dad? Or was it dishonest? Was it something like stealing? Was it something like doing drugs? I mean, geez, my kid's youngest is 6 weeks and my oldest is 22. So there's been a lot. I mean, you're talking about the police, you're talking about, school and after school programs and detention and all kind of stuff. Talking back and, cursing, all that good stuff. So again, I learned, number one, that I wanted to correct the behavior, correct the act, not the child. And for that, it's been the greatest experience for us. It's been the greatest experience for me as a dad, as the disciplinary, which both parents are. Me and my wife are disciplinaries, but we're able to navigate and actually feel better about ourselves, feel good, right? It shouldn't be, I punish you, I feel bad. I'm the parent. You're the one who did something wrong. Let's. So that's number one. Hopefully that makes sense. Number two, Hopefully you guys are with me. Write this down. Number 2, yelling makes things worse forever. Forever. I can still remember my dad raising his voice, yelling. Still, to this day, I'm 43 years old, about to be 44 very soon, tomorrow. Shout out to my birthday, cancer season. Anyway, but my dad, yeah, I remember him yelling. I remember him raising his voice. I remember him being a hothead. And guess what? Guess who learned how to do that? Me. When I had kids, I just couldn't wait. I didn't even write this plan down. It was just in me to raise my voice, to yell, to blow up a situation and blow it up bigger than it needed to be. That's what it was. So I encourage you to not do that. I encourage you to not yell. I encourage you to be loving. I learned to be loving. I learned to quiet myself down and not be so passionate, is what I used to tell my kids. I'm just passionate. To really talk with my kids. They were very more comfortable explaining to me what happened, the mistakes they made, when I wasn't yelling at them. I was in the Army. Okay, I didn't like drill sergeants yelling at me. I didn't like my NCOs yelling at me. Why would I yell at my kids? I had to take time to think about that. It was a long time. There was a lot of reminders. So that's one big thing I learned. I never wanted my kids to think of dad as they get older as, man, my dad could yell, man. I didn't know what he was saying, but he can yell. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Number 3, be present and be fair. I had to take a deep breath on that one. Be present and be fair. I had to learn that. I would get mad at something that my child would do, talk back to their mom, not clean up their room, and I would yell at them, and then I would leave them in their own shame, in their own guilt, or in their own just sadness, because I couldn't handle my temper because I was so upset. See what you did there? So not only your kid made a mistake that they don't feel good about, whether it's in school, whether it's at home, now they belong and are attached to your anger. I would say to my anger. That's how I made my kids feel. Every single time I blew up and left. So I encourage you guys to don't blow up and leave. Stay put, stay grounded, be present, and be fair. It's as simple as that. So I don't know how you guys feel about discipline, withholding the rod, spanking, all that good stuff. It definitely says that in the word, to not withhold the rod, right? Because we want to love our kids. But it also says, don't taunt our kids. Don't provoke them to anger. I didn't read that part, right? We want to raise up our kids in love. That's the things that I had to learn. Those are the things that I'm still learning today. So I encourage you guys. I encourage you. You know, if that touches something, if that connects with you in any way, I challenge you to be better. I challenge you to connect, correct the action, correct the behavior. I challenge you to lower your voice as you're communicating to your kids. I challenge you to be present. Be present and be fair. Watch your relationship change. Watch the way you feel about yourself change. Watch everything change. When you can control yourself, you can control your future. It's as simple as that. And remember, I realized that I had the power to build my kids up or tear them down. It's as simple as that. You have the power to do the exact same thing. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm excited. Let's go be better together. And thanks so much for listening and for tying in. And if you like it, subscribe. If you like it, send this to a dad that may be yelling or that can use some good words. I know you can do it. Have a good one. Again, let's go be better dads together.